Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome back. It's been a long time. I hope everyone's been doing well. Thank you for allowing me the space to take a break. I hope that life has given you all nothing but blessings. And speaking of blessings, this reading is going to be about the full moon in Cancer. That's going to be happening on the 3rd of January, the first full moon of the year. And I'm going to be honest, I know a lot of astrologers are a little worried about it because there's a lot of conjunctions, a lot of opposition. For me, I feel like this is a good sign. I feel like all that really does is create a space for us to plan things out and to set the proper foundation for very important things in our lives, because a lot of it is influenced by Venus and Jupiter and Mars. And when those three kind of play a role and factor into the energy of a full moon, we get a sense of understanding about, again, the important things in our lives, like our relationships, our desires, what we actually want to do with our lives, what we believe in, our opinions, our beliefs, our big ideas, right? And I feel, and how big and how important we feel in our lives. How influential do we feel in our lives? How much how much do we feel like we're giving to the world? Right? And maybe it's our little world. It doesn't have to be, I'm not saying like everybody in the whole entire world, the other billions of people, but it could be how much you are playing a role in your personal life with your family members, with your friends, with your coworkers, and what's your stamp? And I really feel like this is what this full moon is asking. What stamp are you leaving in the world? And where are there some scenarios, some situations where you're feeling like you're playing tug of war, right? Like where do you feel like it's been a push and pull? Where do you feel like it doesn't matter if you do something about it, it's like a 2 steps forward, 1 step back situation, and you're having to come up with a much bigger solution, right? You're really having to gather the knowledge, gather the resources, use that wisdom, and then feel powerful enough and feel blessed enough and feel motivated enough to go after that desire, to go after that dream. Because really what we're doing is putting a stamp on our big dreams here with this full moon. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, right? And again, a lot of and I've been talking, I know I've been gone a while, but I'm still not going to get off the fact that come February 20th, we're going to have that big conjunction between Saturn and Neptune in Aries. At the same time, the moon's going to be in Aries that day, right? I know, I already did a whole video on it, it's still up on the channel. So we're still leading up to that. Now we're really getting close. Now we're really feeling that building up, because this is Saturn and Neptune. Those are big players. So even though we're 2 months away from that, we're feeling it now, okay? So let's see what the cards have to say about this full moon. You know what? I'm getting the desire here to kind of do. I'm not going to do like individual, but you just pick a card here, and I won't do 3 full readings on each card. But there we go. If you need to pause the video, choose the card that you're most drawn to. You guys know the drill, right? Card number 1. Your card is facade. That makes sense. Again, it's kind of like, yeah, what's been empty? What's been drained? What's been dead? This is a dead tree here, right? So what is absolutely necessary and what isn't? That's what I'm getting out of this. What have you been kind of doing just because it's been the same old routine? You've been used to it. It's felt normal. It is that sense of normalcy and comfortability. Where do you need to get out of that, right? And what steps do you need to take to where, yes, spirit guides, I hear you. They're like, oh, again. Okay, fine, I'll say it. And you don't need your hand held, but if you do feel like you need your hand held, get that support system, all right? Find that support system. If you're like, I know I need to stop this thing. I know I need to get rid of it. I know it's not really good for me. I'm really feeling like almost like okay, I get it. Yeah, I got it. New Year's resolution kind of thing. New Year's resolution. If you're the kind of person that's like, I'm doing a New Year's resolution, but I never stick with it, this year you're going to stick with it. I have a feeling something big's happening for you. Those of you that chose this card. Like something substantial, something permanent. Permanent is what I'm getting out of that. All right. And it's going to break down this whole facade that you might have been feeling like has taken control over your life. Not control, but has taken a big space in your life. Card 2, you got gossip. So if you're working with this gossip archetype, I'm definitely feeling like a heart-centered, heart matter that's coming forward here. Either you hurt someone's feelings or they hurt your feelings. It's a he said, she said situation. That's going to clear up with this full moon. That's what I'm getting out of this. I think at the base of it, this feels like miscommunication. This feels like it wasn't supposed to come out the way that it did. And then it escalated, it blew up. That's going to end. That's going to come to a close. Everything's going to be cleared up, not in a comfortable way. And that's probably where those oppositions really affect you specifically. Maybe you do have Venus in Capricorn or Mars in Cancer. Venus or Mars in Capricorn or Cancer, maybe that's where you're really, really dealing with it. Maybe you're Cancer moon, and this is your personal full moon. But this is really affecting you in a way that says, wow, so true colors are shown. So almost similar to card 1. Maybe you want to choose that, but this is totally different than this. This feels like just the air is cleared, almost like an Ace of Swords. So if the Ace of Swords comes out, I won't be surprised for you. Third card, passion. This is what I was talking about. That dream come true kind of a thing. Really finding something fulfilling, really finding something that matters to you, something that you feel like you wake up every day and you're like, you know what, I feel good about doing this. This is my passion. This is my desire. This is my drive. This is my motivating force. And you're really working on that. You're thinking about it. You're putting into action. And I think you're telling other people. I think feels like an announcement almost. I feel like you finally like either admit it, right? Like you accept it. Like, this is me. This is what I'm doing. Everybody look. This is my project. This is my dream. I'm publishing this book. I'm starting this business. I'm starting a new job. I want children. Something big like that. Like a very, very profound passion of yours. You either figure it out with this full moon in Cancer or you tell people about it. But I feel like it's more like an announcement. All right. So I'll keep them kind of like this, just so we know what they are. But let's get, I would say at least a couple cards here for the collective, kind of for everybody. What does everybody need to know about this full moon in Cancer? Ooh. Education. Again, makes sense with that Jupiter influence, right? It is a wide conjunction in opposition with Jupiter, right? It's a wide influence, but it's still there. And there's also that half square over to Uranus from this full moon. And then there's a square between Mercury and Neptune. You've got, I'm not even going to talk about the whole issues and situations and sextiles and trines that are going between. That's not even issues. That's the thing. It's more like a building up with Saturn, Neptune, and Jupiter. And Uranus. So, yeah. Everybody's kind of jumping in on this full moon. That's what I'm saying. But, again, the only ones that are really affecting it directly are Venus, Mars, and Jupiter. So, anyway. One more. Education. What are we learning about? What is it that we're getting educated on? There it is. Yes. Yes, Queen. Golden Palace. Yep. Our Golden Palace, our treasure. What is it that we treasure in life? What is it that we feel are important? So priorities, but priorities that we feel are rewarding, right? Priorities that we feel will get us somewhere. Priorities that we feel are reciprocal in our life. So we're getting educated on that, right? We're getting information on that. We're collaborating with other people. We're getting the proper documentation, the right paperwork together. We're forming the right relationships here with these two cards in order to get our dream foundation. Now, I also want to say that it's very precious to us, whatever this is. As a collective, we're looking for the things that we hold dear to our hearts. Think about it. Gold is precious. It's a precious metal, right? It's not easy to make. It's hard to find. I'm talking about real gold, obviously. Yeah, right? Like, that's what my guides are saying. It's not synthetic. This is not fake. It kind of ties to that first group of people, too. It's real gold. This is real. You could taste it, touch it, hear it, smell it, see it, right? Yeah, so let's get cards on that, actually. And I also want to tie that back into like education with those of you that chose pile 2, right? You're getting more information so that you can clear up that miscommunication, that situation with that. And then for pile 3, that's stork, not storks. Well, okay, well, I'll keep it at stork. Maybe that's the announcement. But that heron is coming in to support you in that. I think the heron is definitely for all of us here as a collective. That's why it's coming out. That's our spirit animal for this full moon, so we'll look that up. That's your homework. Look up what the spirit animal of the heron means. But I'm definitely getting support, like finding a good support system. Oh, these are tough cards. Definitely tough cards for this full moon. And I am sorry about the lighting. I'm in an entirely new house, entirely new environment, entirely new relationship. So good. It's a good thing, but it's not very bright in the basement. I will figure it out. So anyway, Judgment, Star, 2 of Pentacles, 7 of Swords, 5 of Swords. What I'm getting out of this is our desire, not desire. It's more like our felt need, right? That we know it's necessary to weigh out the scales in our life, right? This is a necessity to balance things out in our life, to find a sense of knowing, a sense of stillness, a sense of wholeness, a sense of understanding that we can make the right decisions, okay? The right judgment calls. And when we're making a judgment call, it's not a small thing, right? When we're making a judgment call, it's like, again, announcing it to the world kind of a thing where it was all, this almost feels like a last resort, but like in a good way. Like this feels like no longer putting it on the back burner. This feels like I'm doing this because this is the final straw. This is the final countdown. Did you guys miss me singing? That's the song that just popped into my head for this. So, yeah, clearing the air. Clearing the air. It's like we've gotten away with something for so long, almost like with the universe. It's almost like the universe is like, it's like the universe is giggling at us and like, yeah, that's enough of that. That's enough of that. You can't keep going the way that you're going. You can't keep following this path. It's time to do something about it. It's time to clear yourself up. It's time to stop lying to yourself. It's time to stop lying to others, not intentionally, right? Not like, you are doing it intentionally, or we are, I shouldn't say you, it's all of us together. We are lying intentionally, but we're not doing it in a malice way, like from a place of malice, a malicious way, I should say. We're doing it in a way that we feel like is necessary. And then now we're moving into a space that's like, what's necessary to make this judgment call to stop, to really weigh out what's going on here, to make a decision. We're very hopeful. This full moon brings us hope. It brings us that North Star. We feel more guided. We feel more centered. We feel more like we see our dream, like we see our direction that we need to go. It's the North Star, right? We feel like we found a place in our inner. I'm really surprised that the compass card didn't come out. Yeah, well, but you know what was at the top is this protecting treasure, so that makes sense with that, right? I said that, protecting treasure. So we feel more right. Okay, I don't know how else to say it. We feel right. We feel right in the world. We feel like the puzzle pieces are starting to fall together after what seems to be a tough battle here, a tough, period in our lives where it's just trials and tribulations and fighting for survival. This is very survival, right? The 7 and 5 of Swords together is never a good thing in a reading, because it means that the toughest situations, and this is with other people, right? And mentally draining, mentally frustrating, mentally depressing for some of us, right? So yeah, let's see, judgment. What is it that we might be? No, how do we? It's not a what, right? Because we all know deep within our hearts what we're making a judgment call on, but how? What is the best guidance for how we can better make that judgment call? King of Swords, perfect card. Love the card. Actually, when I was doing that poll on the YouTube channel, some of you saw that post. The Queen of Cups came out, but honestly, the King of Swords wanted to come out with that Queen of Cups, so that's nice that he's back for this full moon. Yeah, I love that because the King of Swords is very direct, very firm, very decisive. Has that his eyes set? It's almost like when he makes a decision, when he has something on his mind, it's tunnel vision, but in a very controlled and wise way. And that's what we need to make those judgment calls. We need to make the smartest and best decisions, right? From a place where we've already gathered all the information that we needed, right? We're already educated on it. We already know. And that's why it's the smartest and wisest decision. And we need to stay focused. What we need to make these judgment calls, the cards are saying, is focus. Focus. Focus up. Lock in, right? The Star. The Fool. New beginning. Because with full moon, even though it's an ending, it's also a new beginning, right? Adventurous. This new direction, this North Star, this inner compass that you have found has made you feel more adventurous, has made you feel more excited, has made you feel more open, has made you feel more special, has made you come to life, right? Two of Pentacles, we have the Page of Wands. Talking about adventurous and curious. Curious, right? So a lot of information, it seems like information overload almost. But in a good way. I know a lot of astrologers are very stressed, and I've been out of the game for a while, but I came back in, kind of looked over the astrology for a little bit, and I see what I missed. But I'm feeling like this full moon is just is a ringing of the bell, and this Page of Wands is saying the same thing on this Two of Pentacles. In order to help you make those decisions, in order to help you weigh out what's going on, and it doesn't have to be your entire life. It could be one situation. Right? You have to be willing to go out there and seek it. This is the seeker, right? This isn't the student archetype, which maybe he'll come out with the other two cards. We already got that. But what we're getting now is also seek. Seek and you will find. Seek and you will find. There we go. Again, another tough card. Nine of Swords. Yeah, I mean, you're going to have anxieties. You're going to have stress. We're humans. We're humans living in 2025. That's why I always think it's funny when you go to the doctor, right? And you're like, yeah, doc, I got this issue. And they're like, oh, maybe you should reduce your stress, exercise, and get the right amount of sleep. Like, most people have a hard time doing that, right? I'm trying my best to do that. That's why I feel great. But we can't always do that. There are days, there are weeks, months maybe, where we have a hard time sleeping. We have a hard time eating. We have a hard time, lowering our stress because we're going through a lot of stuff in our lives. This is going to be that clearing, right? You have dealt with that. Now it's the other side of it. You're coming out the other side of all this anxiety, all this stress, all this sleepless nights, not eating right, not sleeping right, indulging in too many things, whatever the case is. It's your Nine of Swords, right? We all have our Nine of Swords. We all have our addictions. We all have our issues. So working through those issues, and then maintaining a steady sense of self, maintaining a steady sense of direction, and maintaining a steady sense of healthy, adventurous outlook on life, a new seeker outlook, right? Five of Swords, the moon. Look at that. Perfect that the moon came up in a moon reading. Yeah, what I'm getting from this is like this. It's like when wolves howl at the moon. It's how the wolves howl. If you've ever been to a wolf sanctuary or studied wolves, or just, you don't even need to study them. I don't know a lot about wolves, but I know some stuff about wolves, and I learned a lot of it at a sanctuary. But when they're howling, what they're really doing is communicating with each other, right? And the reason why they howl at the full moon is that's their, how if they tell you, if you get lost in the woods, look for the sun, look for the direction of whatever, so that you know at least your direction, or look where the moss is growing on the tree. That's the wolf for them. That's their, and that's what I mean. That's the moon for the wolves, is what I'm trying to say. So a sense of home, a sense of comfort, a newfound sense of, wow, this feels warm and fuzzy, and it gets me going, and my feelings are feeling good. That's the moon right now for this reading. I'm feeling good, and that feels good, and I'm going towards that because it feels good. That's that Nine of Wands too. That's that progression from the page to the knight. Okay, what's underneath that? Ten of Swords, the ending. Okay, passion. Definitely for those group number 3 there, right? Passion. No fear also. That's the biggest thing. No more fears and anxieties about doing all of this. This is way better over here than this. Drop the fear. Stay focused. Follow that new path. You're going to make it just fine. And then you're going to feel like, whoo, that was a tough road, but I made it. Like climbing Mount Everest. You're climbing your Mount Everest. I hope this helped. Thank you for tuning in. I love you all. I'll see you in the next one.